What's going on, fellas? Welcome in. Happy Saturday. Every single Saturday, it's like Christmas. We get to wake up. There's a full slate of games. I got my man Goose here. I got my man Sosa here. Yeah, I'm hosting this week. You know what it is. You know what it is. We're gonna take this thing by the horns. It's gonna be a great show. We got all the games to cover, all the big games. We got best bets. We got everything you need this morning. First off, let's throw it over. Mr. Sosa is joining us this week. We get a full Sosa episode this week. So you guys are in luck. What's going on, Sosa?
Just glad to be here, man. Really just glad to be here. I feel special now. You know what I mean? Because I don't come on the show every week, and you guys make it easy for me to not have to cap college football. 'Cause I could just tune into this and win all the money. I don't actually have to do any work today. I actually had to do some work. But don't get it twisted. I'm here, just like y'all. Let's get some money. Goose, good to see you. I don't know what the fuck I witnessed last night in that Rutgers game. Embarrassing.
Yes.
Embarrassing.
I
How
streamed
are
a
you?
lot
Good
yesterday.
to see you.
First off, shout out Sam, by the way. Our normal host, he's not here because, the dude just got engaged last night. Shout out to Sam. That's
Shout out
that's
to Dumb
awesome
Brain
news,
Picks, man. The legend himself.
The ultimate victory.
The ultimate dumb brain picks victory. It was a smart brain last night.
Tip your
But,
hat to that guy.
I'm here. Rutgers lost last night. They were up 13-0 at halftime. They lost 14-13. And our punter had a touchback. I'm heartbroken. The punter had a touchback. It's like his first one since 2019. That's all I got to say about the game. It's Saturday. New day.
It could have been his Heisman moment, Goose. Not to pile on. That could have been his Heisman moment. First punter ever, I assume, to win the Heisman, and then he just blew it. So it was sad to see, Goose. We were pulling for you.
But there was a play. The punter is about to kick it. I look at my boy, dead ass. I look at my guy. I go, inside the 8-yard line. And we bet a drink on it. It was on the 7. Like, it's an automatic bet for me for the most part. It gets me free drinks.
All right. I got two things I want to do before we get started here. We're going to hit TCU Kansas as our first game. Before we do that, if my voice sounds hoarse as well, yes, I was at a football game last night. Yes, the San Jose State Spartans did win. Yes, they did blow out UNLV. And yes, they are going to make it to the Mountain West Championship. So hop on the bandwagon now. 11-1, 10-2. We got to get through Air Force probably in the championship game, but the Spartans are looking nice, man. The Spartans are looking good. That's my first formal announcement. Okay, hop on now. Hop on now before it's too late. Second announcement, you guys got to be watching this DFS stream we're doing every single week here on Daily Bread Media. You got to be hopping on. Last night, hold on, where is it? There's a couple zeros on there. Couple zeros, every single week. It thinks it's a part of the background. You got to trust it. Couple zeros. It's the best information you're going to get out there. If you want playing DFS, college football, I swear to God, just go there.
It's not even close.
Just go there and win some money. It's free. What are you waiting for?
Fucking free.
All right. Without any further ado, let's go ahead and get started. TCU versus Kansas. TCU's a -7 favorite. College game day is going to be in Lawrence for the first time ever. Sonny Dykes heading on over to face Lance Leipold. Over-unders at 68.5. Expected to see some points. Let's go over to Goose here first. What are you thinking?
So, yeah, Kansas, TCU. They're 9-0 combined. Their quarterbacks have 22 touchdowns to 1 interception. And they've only been sacked 8 times combined in 9 games. Like, these are some offenses right here that we're working with. And it's not just the quarterbacks. I couldn't believe their run games when I looked it up. Both are averaging 6.5 yards per carry, 3.5 touchdowns combined per game on the ground. Like, these offenses are the truth. But I can't take myself to bet the over. It's college game day. The atmosphere is going to be jumping. Kansas they're announced they're going to renovate their football stadium. Like, this is their moment. And just last week, they played Iowa State. Great defense. They only won 14-11. Like, so even though Kansas is a great offense, they know how to grind, which makes me like Kansas today because TCU is They play one way: speed, attack on offense. We saw how good this offense can be, but I like Kansas because they can win with defense. Their defense is better than TCU's. And I can't take myself to bet the over because it's going to be just too emotional today. It's college game day, baby. But this is the better show.
It's not, that also is not even close.
Yeah.
In regards to this one, I love Daniels. I love the quarterback at Kansas. I love what Sonny Dykes is doing there. He's changed the culture. He's actually built one. No coach has been actually given that opportunity in Kansas in a cool minute. Obviously, we know they're a basketball school. They just won a national championship in college basketball. So, in this one, I'm a big fan of this kid, Duggan, the quarterback. Got beat out in the spring, got beat out at the beginning of the season. Guy gets hurt, and he never flinched, stayed ready, and has played great. Last week, he absolutely obliterated a Brett Venables defense, which that was not on my bingo card. I was not expecting that at all. To put up 50 plus on a Venables defense, like I think I'm not scared to bet the over in this. I know people are high on Kansas's defense, but I think Kansas here, like you said, it's game day. I think Kansas is going to try and come out here and put up some points and give recruits who they're actually having show up to the game, because that's what happens when you win. You have a chance for people to actually want to come to your university to play football there.
Yeah.
When you actually win some games. So that's a huge deal for them today as well. So I and I said game day being there, huge deal. I'm rocking with the over, and I lean towards Kansas. I like the over in the game. I think that TCU can give it up. TCU can also score. Kind of mirror, both teams kind of mirror each other to some extent in my eyes. And I like both the quarterbacks. So JD, your thoughts? You're muted. You're muted. You're on mute. Can't hear you.
Soon to be Big Ten Kansas, though, by the way, while JD's fixing that up.
Yeah.
Soon to be Big Ten.
That's great for hoops, I'm guessing, because the Big Ten's dominated hoops the last decade.
Yeah.
Hold on. We can't be talking hoops right now. I got to fix this mute.
No, we can hear you now. We can hear you now.
Okay. Yeah. Let's stop this. We're stopping this now.
We were just trying to see. I got to kill time.
So this is why you don't let me host. While you were talking, I somehow gave some airtime to a comment I should not give an airtime to. So, my apologies there on that one. And then muted my mic. So, bear with me here. Hosting's not my thing. I hear a lot of people talking like they don't trust Kansas this week. And I get it. It's Kansas. But TCU, they've had one test? They played Tarleton State and they played Colorado. They didn't look good against Colorado. And they looked really good last week. I'll give them that. I'm kind of trusting what they're doing, but looking at their defense, they're outside the top 100 in a lot of the defensive line stuff I'm looking at. So if Kansas can establish the line of scrimmage, which I think they can be able to do here, I kind of like Kansas getting the points at home, because I don't really trust TCU in what should be a high scoring back and forth game. So I think I'm liking Kansas. I'm leaning that way. I like Devin Neal, your prop of the day for this one. I like Devin Neal, running back for Kansas, over 12.5 fantasy points. That's over at Prize Picks. They've been splitting the carries, but Highshaw, their other running back, that big beastly man, they've been giving a lot of carries. He's out for this one. And Devin Neal, that is Lawrence's son, man. That is Kansas' go-to guy. That's the best recruit they've had in 10 years on the big stage. I'm looking for him to show up in this one for sure. All right. Let's move on. Let's go to the next one. I guess we're calling this the Red River Showdown now. It's not the shootout anymore. Red River Showdown, Red River Rivalry, whatever it is. We got Texas -8.5 at the Cotton Bowl going against Oklahoma. This is a noon kickoff. Over-unders at 63.5. So I'll start with you. Steve Sarkisian, is this the moment where he silences some of his doubters? Is he going to pound on the score when he gets a chance against the Oklahoma team and Brent Venables? That safe to say they're pretty down. Even
if they win, he won't be able to do that. All right, even if they win today, he won't be able to escape anything, because obviously there are delusional fan bases, and then there are Texas fans. There's a whole difference there. Texas fans live in a whole different land of Alice. It's insane. I would like to. I would like to say bad things about Texas, but then that would require me to say good things about Oklahoma, and they were fucking awful last week. I mean, we just saw them get stomped into the ground by a TCU team that no one expected to see that, and all this talk about Venables, and defense and all the stuff that we've come to not expect from Oklahoma. We saw him get put on the Summer Jam screen by Lincoln Riley's little brother. So I have no faith right now in Oklahoma. I do think that this is another game that will be wildly entertaining. We'll get plenty of points. Quinn Ewers back for Texas today. I'm a big Quinn Ewers guy. I mean, I think everyone's actually, conversed that with me. Like any conversation you've had with me, I'm very high on him. I think he's extremely talented. I think they would have whooped Alabama's ass had he not gotten hurt, but that's another conversation for another day. It never happened. We can't really prognosticate as to what would have happened. In this one, I like Texas in the first half. It's a 6.5 point spread, a little heavy, might have to sweat. But after just seeing the way that TCU was able to isolate bad defensive players, I see that happen again this week. I mean, unless Oklahoma has like some players who are on the depth chart a little lower that just happen to be wildly more talented than the guys we saw last week, I think Texas is going to be able to do the same thing. Isolate bad defensive backs, get explosive plays. It's going to come down to if Quinn's 100%. And also in this day and age, I don't think you allow him to play if he's not. And it wasn't his throwing shoulder, it was his non-throwing shoulder. So take with that what you will. He's practiced. I think that Texas comes out here and plays a really, really good game against Oklahoma. And maybe Sarkisian can silence some of the critics. Maybe. Probably not, though, because it's going to require a championship or Vince Young popping up. So I like Texas first half. That's really the only lean that I have per se.
Goose.
So yeah, I like the first half angle because this game screams Texas blowout, but we know it's going to be close at the end. It always is. There's years where Oklahoma is a top 5 team and Texas is unranked, and they'll take them to double overtime and win. Like now the roles are a little reversed. Oklahoma, their quarterback is out, I believe. Their quarterback is Dylan Gabriel is out today, right? Or is it?
I didn't see a formal announcement, but it sounds like they're not expecting him. And if he doesn't play, that backup, Beville or whatever, I mean, my word, it sounds like they were giving 3 guys reps in practice this week. So that tells you about all you need to know. It might be General Booty. I hope it's General Booty. Can you imagine if General Booty shows up on our TV?
You mean Josh Heupel's not calling the plays for Dylan Gabriel, so he doesn't look good?
He looked pretty bad before he went out last week. He was missing wide open dudes.
He was awful. Yeah, him getting hurt. Some of these hits have been vicious in college this year, man. Yeah, I mean, like the defensive back from Rutgers last night getting put to sleep by a running back.
That was pretty scary. I couldn't really see it. It was on my sideline. I was like second row, and because I got the best seats in the house, but I couldn't really.
I've never seen anything like that in my life.
Yeah,
that was bad.
That was crazy. Had to bring it up. Sorry, Goose.
I'm here. We lost, but I'm here. But not like so. I'm seeing how I want to attack this game. I can't take Texas -8.5. It's the principle of the rivalry, and I'm having a hard time taking the over. I know Sosa, you're on it. It's just what kind of offense is Oklahoma going to give us? So I'm thinking maybe Texas team total instead of the full game.
If their defense gives up 60, we don't need that much.
That's what I'm saying. So I'm thinking more Texas team total instead of like the full game over, because General Booty, all name.
What a name.
But
please play him.
I don't know how many points he can deliver. So it is a hard game for me because everyone thinks Texas blowout. It's going to be close though. That's just how it works in these rivalries.
Yeah, it does look like Dylan Gabriel's warming up, but he doesn't have a helmet on or anything. And of course they're going to let him out on the field, run around. Like, of course he can move his arm, right? That's all it looks like right now. So that's the news to me. Like, I think it screams Texas blowout if he doesn't play. Like, the defense is in shambles, right? You're learning a Venables system that, like, it's known for being the most intricate defensive system in college football. It takes time to learn. And then Sarkisian, on the other hand, his offensive system is known for being pretty complex as well offensively. But Texas, they're figuring out that system. Like, it's clear they got the guys in place. It's clear they know it. Whereas the Venables system, it's pretty clear they do not have it down pat at all to me. So I like Texas here. Laying chalk on Texas in a rivalry game, like what could possibly go wrong, right? But I mean, I love it. So, I mean, especially if Bevell's playing that backup quarterback, I mean, no way. So I think my favorite one here, the prop, I like Xavier Worthy's overs. He was at 68.5 to start the week. He's up to 76.5. I don't know. It takes probably one broken coverage for him to get there, maybe two. And Oklahoma's going to break. If any TCU last week was any indication, they're going to break quite a few coverages. And then he's 15 fantasy points on Prize Picks. I like both those overs, man. I think him and Bijan are going to have a field day. They should have a field day here. I expect nothing less.
Yes, sir.
All right. Moving on. Our guy Rowdy is on the ground as a correspondent, but he's not able to get to us. And then our boy Sam is not here with us because he's doing bigger and better, apparently. Can't hit on that. Yeah. Tennessee's -3 against LSU. I know Sosa has a strong play on this one, but we're going to go to Goose first. So, Goose, what do you think in Tennessee versus LSU? Over under 63.4.
I'm actually going to call
That's not
audible.
correct. 63.5.
I got to hear what Sosa got on this one first because I expected Sosa, Sam, and Roddy to go in on this game. So I'm giving this to Sosa first. I'm sorry.
Oh man, listen, y'all know I love Brian Kelly. You know I love Brian Kelly. I mean, man from Massachusetts, pretending to be from the South. Amazing. Love the guy. Y'all also know I'm extremely high on Josh Heupel. I made JD a believer, so it's okay. It's enough. When I remember the first time I spoke about Josh Heupel on this program, JD said, no. He's saying yes now. Listen, I think the game goes over. Lots of points scored. I think we get a lot of points across the landscape of college football today. In this particular matchup, Tennessee's going to score. They're good for 40 against any defense. We saw them do it against everyone. They put points on the board. At times, they can get dominated in the trenches. That's my biggest fear with Tennessee. Their defensive line still not where you would want it to be as far as the talent level. Secondary as well, but the offense is amazing. They can score in 2 plays. They can score in 12 plays. They can get chunked. And I mean, these receivers, the way they're schemed open, they're wide open. I mean, I've seen Tennessee games where the receivers are like 15 yards away from the nearest defensive back. I think it's some level of a shootout, but I think that Tennessee has more bullets in their gun. I think that's what it comes down to. I think LSU puts up points. I think Brian Kelly, like JD was mentioning about Venable's system, and it takes a little minute to learn what Brian Kelly wants you to do as a quarterback, right? Unless you just have overwhelming talent and can just go out there and manage the game across the board. I feel like the offense has played a little bit better. There's still obviously a lot of room for improvement. The only big game they had was, I think they played like Southern. They scored like 100 fucking points against them. But I think that LSU will be able to put up points. I think Tennessee puts up 40 plus. I think this game soars over 63.5. So that's my expectation. And also Hendon Hooker, Heisman moment. If he's 24 years old, he's one of the oldest starting quarterbacks in all of D1 college football. He's seen every situation. He's held off a parade All-American star that was supposed to be the guy. Here we are.
We outside.
We're live and direct. I can't hear anything you're saying. I have no AirPods. So I just want to tell you this. I'm going to whisper it too. Tennessee -3. Tennessee first half -1.5. Okay, I'm surrounded by them. I can't say it too loudly, okay? But there's no fucking chance they win this goddamn game today. Jesus Christ.
Man's on the field for
On the
LSU.
On the
Touting
field.
Tennessee.
Only at Pay for Play do you get this exclusive type of footages. Oh, look who right here too. That was Chad Johnson right there. Ocho Cinco. Yeah, I know. Only at Pay for Play, baby. I told you.
No. Hey man,
And he got a Joe Burrow jersey on.
on the field though. That's no one.
Nah, for real. Nah, like for real though. All right, hold
Man's
on.
on the field.
All right, look, I don't want to derail too much, but y'all heard what I said.
He's on the same page as I'm on the same page as him. I didn't want to pick a side, but the over I think is a given. I'm on Tennessee as well. I told people at the beginning of the year, I think Tennessee is going to be a top 10 program all year. Only problem is I mentioned it. In the trenches, they can be had. Still a top 5 offense in all the nation. So right there with USC.
That's why I'm on the over though, because Tennessee, they're gonna put up points, and LSU is gonna find a way to muscle up some points. I feel like they're gonna establish a run against this Tennessee team. But yeah, Tennessee -3. They're just the better team. Yeah. They got Alabama next week, though, I think, right? Is it next week or do they got bye week?
Yep.
But,
next week.
So there might be a little look ahead, but I think the over is a really good play today.
Yeah, I'm not going to disagree with any of that. Their best receivers out, Cedric Tillman. He had what they call tightrope surgery, apparently. Out a couple weeks. They said Tua had it a couple times, so he's out like 3 to 4 weeks, sounds like. But LSU's top cornerback went out last week, and Robbie Ashford for Auburn, who they haven't been able to throw the ball in ages, they threw for 330 on this team. So I'm not too worried about Tillman being out. I think Tennessee gets theirs. I agree with the points that were made. And then LSU, this was a team that had 39 scholarship players when Edo left, for the bowl game. They had 39 scholarship players, and they did a good job of getting some high-end talent on both sides of the ball as starters. But you guys know by now the tempo that Tennessee runs with is going to wear on them. The last DJ Ojulari played every single snap on the D line for LSU last week. So you're going to play every single snap while Tennessee's going at warp speed. All I got to say is, I don't know. I think it could be closer at first, but I think eventually, maybe later on they're going to get to him. They always get to him. Like Sosa said, he made me a believer. So
I got a question. I got a question for you now. Peak Chip Kelly at Oregon, or what Heupel's doing offensively at Tennessee?
It's not close. Not close. Don't even. Chip is a legend. Heupel is like.
I knew it was coming. I had to ask. I agree. I just wanted to see how far I could take it. I know I made you a believer, but you're not a fan yet. You know what I mean? So I get it. It's all good.
Okay, so you're at the fan level. Offensively though, it's close. I'm not. His offense is close. He's just got to figure a few things out. You can't be giving up 500 passing yards. But yeah, you're on it. You were correct. I'll give you that. All right, let's move on. We're heading out west. We're going Utah -3. That one's been dropping. It was up at 4.5 a few days ago when I was looking at this one. They're heading on to the Rose Bowl to play UCLA. Over under 64.5. Utes have been kind of getting the job done. 4-1 ATS, 4-1 overall after that opening loss to Florida. They've reeled off 4 straight. I'm not really sure they've looked the best doing it. I'm not really sure where I stand with Utah. I'm a big Utah believer, but to be honest, they haven't really looked excellent. They needed a pick 6, 3 interceptions last week against a backup quarterback. So I don't know where I sit with Utah. Let's go to you, Goose, first. Where are you looking at this?
So I am liking Utah today because UCLA is built off of turnovers. They took the ball away 11 times this year, and Utah's just not turning the ball over. They're being very sound. They got a physical presence. I just think their run game and their offensive line is going to be too big for UCLA. I know DTR and Charbonnet have been great and all for UCLA, but I just think that this Utah team, they don't shoot themselves in the foot. And UCLA is home and all, but I never see the Rose Bowl packed when they play. I just don't. I'll look in today. I just don't think it's too big of a home field advantage.
They haven't been good when they're good. You listen, JD can attest to this. Californian and Floridian sports fans, they only show up to the games when you're good.
So you think it's gonna be packed today?
Are they undefeated?
They are, yeah.
Yes. Are they playing a team that was rated in the top 10 before the season started? Yes. Yeah. They'll show up today.
They'll need it because they're going to need some breaks, I think. This Utah team, they're not going to turn it over. They're not going to play into UCLA's hands, I don't think.
Hey, I'm going to just come out and say it. I'm on the opposite side.
Mm-hmm.
Chip got his horses in. If you know about Chip Kelly, he's a builder. All right. You have to give him the opportunity to build the program. And if you do that, fourth year, like we're seeing now, you finally have some level of continuity. Everyone knows the system. It's not like he's going outside of one game. This offense has been wildly impressive outside of one game, and we expect that. They're going to come out slow. They might be sluggish. DTR is in full control of the offense. I think that UCLA and USC are on a collision course. I think they're going to face each other not having any losses. I really do. I don't think I look at the Pac-12 and I like Utah, but I'm never high on a team that America is high on because they lost a game. Like last year it was they lost the Rose Bowl to Ohio State, so they're going to be good this year. And like that's to me is that's never a reason to start backing a team. Like and listen, they have to play rugged games. I like their quarterback too. The quarterback was very good against Florida. Cost them the game though through a game-losing pick with like 20 seconds left in the game. But for the most part, he played great in the second half against Florida. They just couldn't get it done at the very end. I'm on UCLA. I think UCLA wins the game by a touchdown. I think their offense is going to get up and down the field, and I think Chip is coaching like he got a chip on his shoulder. He really he looks like he's still a dick, but the players respond. And that's the one thing I like about Chip. He has unwavering confidence. He believes in what he's doing out there. And I think UCLA and USC are headed for a collision course for the end of the season. That's just my belief. It's what I've seen from them, from these two programs, and what I've seen from UCLA. I think that the Utes season ends today, second loss. Hope is dead. JD?
I don't love the spot for Utah. I think I'm done on teams that I like that just haven't really shown it yet, right? Because if you haven't shown it yet and it's week 6, you're gonna need to show it to me, right? And in Utah, I liked them last week against Oregon State, and they won that game fairly easily. But I think UCLA is just a lot more dangerous in a lot more areas. I don't like the spot. I think I'm gonna be on Utah next week at home against USC. So I don't like the spot. It's a clear look ahead spot, and UCLA, if you're looking ahead, that team can score points in a hurry if you're looking elsewhere, right? So I'm not going to be on Utah this week. But next week I will be. That's what I'm going to say. Next week I will be. I still think Utah at home. I like that. That's what I like. Utah on the road. Again, Goose is saying Rose Bowl. That's something to look for. I can't trust them. The thing here with UCLA, why I can't jump on that side though, is last year they were undefeated against losing teams, and they were 0-4 against winning teams. So I still want to see Chip. I still want to see Chip do the thing because I believed in Chip before, and he's made me look like a dumbass. So maybe I'm just smarting from what he's done to me in the past. Maybe I'm brokenhearted for my guy Chip because I do love me some Chip. But yeah, I can't get there this week.
Hey man, I don't like DTR. I mean, the guy has a fucking tattoo of Drake.
No. He does.
He does.
No.
Man,
Swear to God, he has a tattoo.
Google it. Twitter.
The man has a tattoo of Drake. I don't like him. I don't like DTR, but like I said, they're in full control right now, bro. He looks like he's in full control of Chip Kelly's offense, and very seldomly have we been able to say that. When he's had a guy who's been a multi-year starter in his offense, they usually end up doing really good things. Like Dennis Dixon, I probably name 5 or 6 of them. You know what I mean? That he's in full control. It's going to come down to if the defense can get enough stops, because the offense, no matter who they face, is going to put up points. Whether they catch you with the pace, whether they catch you with a busted coverage, whether you play them for coverage and they hand it off, they go for 60. The offense, in my opinion, can't be stopped. I mean, they might be stopped a couple times throughout the game, but the force and will in which the pace that they give you from possession to possession, they're going to put up points no matter whom they face. It's like I said, it's going to come down to, can their defense get those stops when you need them.
Speaking of offenses that are just forces that will eventually impose their will and will eventually find the end zone, whether it takes them 4 quarters to get there or not, Notre Dame, Drew Pine, off the pine, into the game, big game in Las Vegas. Again, we were saying, I don't know if it's really a big game or not, but there's the tattoo. Oh, no. What are you doing, DTR? Come on.
It's in between a Mamba and a RIP Mamba and RIP Dwayne Haskins. He's got 3 guys on his arm: Mamba, Drake, Haskins.
Why you say it like that? Why you say it like that?
We're gonna leave that one there. We're leaving it. We're leaving that there. Sosa, I know you got something to say about this Notre Dame team right now.
Yeah. All you jackasses that were on my line after week 1 when we fucking lost to Ohio State, and then week 2 when y'all wanted to do the shaboing boing when we lost to Marshall, right? I made a bold statement after we played Ohio State. I said no team is going to hold Ohio State to under 21 points the rest of the year. Hey, looking like Sosa knows what the fuck he's talking about. You know, what's funny to me is this. Our coach is a defensive coach. He's not an offensive coach, right? Not an offensive guy. Why isn't Tommy Rees, the highest paid assistant in America, getting any flack for the offense absolutely being dog shit? Who picked Buckner to be the quarterback? You think Marcus Freeman pulled up to West Virginia and he was like, hey, man, I'd love for you to be our quarterback? No, I think that was Tommy Rees. What about you, JD? What do you think? Sounds like a Tommy Rees decision, right? Highest paid assistant in America. Yes.
You would think so. It sounded like he was busy fielding offers and deciding his future and going on Ryan Russillo's podcast. I heard a lot about Tommy Rees, not a lot about his quarterbacks or his decision making. Yeah.
Marcus Freeman's defense, lights out every fucking game, no matter who they play, right? Oh, okay. I just making sure. Listen, today, I'm always rocking with Notre Dame. We're not losing to the Latter-day Saints guys. That's not happening. Not today. Not worried about what they got. Listen, the defense is legit. They've done a better job of getting the ball in the playmakers' hands. Obviously, Mayer, best tight end in America. Let me rephrase that. Best NFL eligible tight end in America. Because I can't lie, bro. That motherfucker Brock Bowers is different. he's just a different dude, bro. Like a fucking freak. Mayer, obviously, Tyree. Like I said, we've done a better job of getting the ball in the hands of our playmakers. Our Pine, I'm not a big fan of Pine, but again, you got to live with what you got to work what you got. Don't turn the ball over. Make the defense, let the defense do their job. And I think we win a close one. Am I taking us to cover? No, I think it's closer to a field goal game. I think I look for Rees. The play calling situationally in the second half is going to be very, very vital. I don't believe in BYU. Offensively or defensively. However, I do think that they do pose the same threats as any of the other teams we've played. So for me, I'm not touching the over-under. Notre Dame on the money line, probably not worth the juice. But yeah, I like us. I like the defense. Defense travels. It's played well against everyone. You guys can bring up the Marshall game. The defense couldn't get off the field against Marshall. They had to play every fucking play because the offense couldn't sustain a fucking drive. So I do not fault the defense whatsoever for that game. Everything else, every other game, defense has been fucking amazing. So that's my takeaway. I'm on Notre Dame. Goose, you got anything? Any thoughts?
I'm thinking of getting cute in this game.
Look at you.
I was thinking of going a Notre Dame money line, but BYU plus 4.5, like a little parlay right there. DraftKings got at plus 475. Because I agree with Notre Dame. I think is the better team. I think they're going to win today, but I think it's going to be a close one because BYU is physical. They have their receivers all back now. Their quarterback, they got the better quarterback in the matchup. But this Notre Dame defense, yeah, they win games. I just saw that performance against Ohio State that they had week 1, and my eyes open. This Notre Dame defense is pretty for real. I just think with their offensive struggles against a strong BYU team, it's going to be a close one. This is definitely a must-watch game. Neutral site, Las Vegas, and I'm thinking of getting cute with a narrow Notre Dame win.
Getting cute. I like it. Goose getting cute on us. Let's go, baby. I I really like what Goose said about Notre Dame's games being close because I think every single one of our games is going to be close for the most part. Probably unless we play at UNLV because that team didn't look very good last night. Let's be real. Let's be real. I was watching those teams. I was like standing by the tunnel because I wanted to see them, get a Chevron Cordero high five last night. And UNLV was so much bigger. Like when they walked by, I'm like, what are they pumping these dudes with? And then they got on the field and they didn't look very big, when they're lying flat on their back. So other than that, though, all our games are going to be close. So I like that look. I got nothing else to add. Good stuff. You guys hit it.
Hey, if the game was in Provo, I would not touch this.
Mm-hmm.
The biggest reason I like us is the neutral site. I think that if it was in Provo, it'd be a different story. In Vegas, Sin City for 2 church schools. It's kind of blasphemous to me, but it is what it is. I'll be tuned in.
What do you guys think the field split will be with it being neutral? Do you think it'll be a 50-50 kind of?
I think it'll be more.
I think a lot of Notre Dame fans plan this Vegas trip. Like, I think it's one of those like this. Listen, at the end of the day, it's a destination trip, right? You don't just go to Vegas for the one thing. Like, you're going to go to the game, you can go for the weekend, do a couple things. I mean, and obviously, Vegas is a 3-day town. That's what I call it, at least. I don't want to be there for more than 3 or 4 days. So I think that a lot of Notre Dame fans pre-plan this trip, and also the stadium's fucking fire. I would want to too. It's amazing. The Allegiant's off the chain, really nice. So.
I got an inside guy there. I got my guy in Vegas right now. I'm just kidding. He's just visiting. He said a lot of Notre Dame fans. I think they're going to travel better here. I agree. Like BYU travels very well, but I don't know, maybe 60-40 Notre Dame. Nothing crazy.
Do Mormons like to gamble?
No. They travel so well though, man.
Only in marriage. Only in marriage.
They like a lot of wives.
Pause.
Oh man, I'm sorry.
Pause. Pause button.
My guy Jimmer Fredette.
Shout out to Jimmer.
They do travel well though, because the West Coast Conference, I think they hold their going back to basketball, they hold their tournament there in Las Vegas, and I've seen a lot of Mormons in Vegas before, that's for sure. All right. If you guys have any more games, feel free to shout them out in the comments. We're gonna move on to our best bets section here. Go over the games that we like. Jimmer Fredette, baby.
My lucky card. I keep it in my wallet.
Sacramento Kings legend right there, baby.
That is something. Yeah, I'm not going to say how I feel about that on camera.
That's a bit strange.
I'm going to keep that with myself.
Goofs, you got any, speaking of cards, what's your card looking like for this week?
All right, bet. So let me load up my phone. So my card, we talked about some of them that I'll be on. I like the games we didn't talk about that I like. I like Florida today, -11. They're playing Missouri. Missouri's been playing pretty well. They nearly beat Georgia, but I think after that they're gonna get smacked by Florida. That's how I'm viewing the game. I like Maryland -3. They're playing Purdue, and I just think Maryland, they have one of the best kickers. I'm a big special teams guy. Special teams wins championships. I think Maryland is playing great football. They competed with Michigan. They blew out Michigan State. Maybe not blow. I think they won by 13. But either way, they handled them, and Purdue finds a way to lose close games. I like Washington State +13. JD early in the season, or not before the season, he put me on Cameron Ward. I think he's a really good quarterback. And look, USC, great team. They might make the playoffs even. They're a great team, but I think
great offense.
Great offense. I just think it's a close game. +13 is a lot. And Washington State has had some good games. And then I'm on my last one, Iowa +4. They're playing at Illinois. I'm not fully believing in Illinois yet. They did just go to Wisconsin and beat them, but I think that was an emotional game. That was Brett Bielema returning to Wisconsin, and I think Iowa's defense is just a juggernaut. So I like them +4 at Illinois.
Good stuff, Goose. Sosa.
Hey.
Speak to
Well,
me, Sosa.
I
Speak
got
to the
five.
people.
I got 5 plays for the people today, and one, I'm putting my money where my mouth is. One, Tennessee LSU. The game's going over. I think that's about as safe a bet as you could possibly get. Over 64.5 minus 105. I'm on the UCLA money line. Like I said to y'all, I believe that UCLA and USC are on a collision course to face each other. The game's actually going to be relevant again. Like JD mentioned, I trust Utah, but at the crib, not on the road. UCLA fans show up tonight in LA at the Coliseum for their boys. Or is the game at the Rose Bowl or the Coliseum? Which one is this? Rose Bowl?
Rose Bowl.
Yeah, well, they show out today in Pasadena, no question. My third play is in the Ole Miss Vanderbilt game. I like the Ole Miss team total over 38.5. I know JD's boy is the quarterback over here at Ole Miss. At some point, we're going to have a real discussion about Lane Kiffin being an elite play caller. At some point, we're going to have that conversation. I don't. Some people don't really love him like I do. I think he's fucking amazing, and I think that he's done a great job everywhere he's went as far as putting quarterbacks in situations to be successful. Because let's be real, Matt Corral fucking sucked, and he made him look good. So I'm on the Ole Miss team total over 38.5 at plus 102. And my favorite play of the day is the first quarter total over 14 in the Texas-Oklahoma game. I think we get offense, we get pace, 2 scripted drives, 1 from each side. Worst case scenario, we push. TCU was scoring so fucking fast last week, they could have put up 100 points in the first quarter if it was 20 minutes long. First quarter total between Texas and Oklahoma, plus 102, over 14. Those are my 4 plays. I would have had 5, but I know JD is about to fire them off like. So it's on you, my guy.
Just before JD goes, Lane Kiffin, I go to Wikipedia, born Lincoln, Nebraska. He's going to Nebraska after this season.
No, he's not.
That's the hot take. He's going to Nebraska. He's beefing with the Ole Miss fans. He wants them to more show out. Nebraska's going to throw him the bag. Calling it now.
Right.
Contrary to belief, Oxford, Mississippi is actually a very nice town if you're the head football coach. I can't see him picking Lincoln over. And listen, I'm not a huge fan of the state of Mississippi, but when you're the head football coach at Ole Miss, they fucking love you there.
Hot take. I got a gut feeling.
I mean, Lane Kiffin makes some interesting decisions, so I guess that would be one of them.
Mm-hmm.
All right. I actually don't have as many plays as you might think this week. I got there's the big boy entry in DraftKings this week, 100K for the first place. So I've been just spending countless hours on that one. So keeping a little lighter on the betting this week. But of course we still got bets. I got UTEP plus 2.5. They beat bad teams and lose to good teams. I don't think Louisiana Tech is good. So UTEP plus 2.5. I'm also on Washington State. Of course, it makes me nervous when you're playing USC's offense, but I think as long as Cam Moore doesn't throw a couple of interceptions, which is on the table, then I think this should be a back and forth game. And I think they're going to be able to move the ball because USC's defense is nothing to speak of. So if I'm getting close to 2 scores, I'm going to take that one. I think they could be looking ahead to Utah as well, like I mentioned for Utah, because that's a huge game. USC-Utah is an absolutely huge game in the Pac-12 next week. I'm also taking Ole Miss against Vanderbilt under 61. I don't really expect Vanderbilt to score a whole lot. Ole Miss's defense is pretty good, and Ole Miss they're a running team, man. They're bleeding the clock. They're a good rushing team, 4th in the nation. That's going to keep the clock churning. And yeah, my boy Jackson Dart, he's still got some work to do. Let's put it that way. Very talented kid. He's got the tools, but putting it together, not quite yet. That's going to take a little longer. So I'm playing the under in that one. All right, as far as props, let's get some props going together. If you're not playing Prize Picks, you ought to be playing Prize Picks. I already called out some of my player props on DraftKings. Let's try to get one. The ones I gave out last week, we had a down week last week. That was our first losing week, so we need a rebound here, fellas. Our first one, week 6. We're getting back on track. We're playing Will Rogers over his passing yards. They keep putting this way too low. All the places do. I think it's up to like 330 in places. I mean, he's going to average 300, so like 370. most likely, because this guy's clicking, and Arkansas can't defend the pass for anything right now. So give me that over. I'm taking Jalen McMillan, Washington wide receiver. I've been all over this kid. Like, people don't understand they had an offensive coordinator change. They don't understand Kalen DeBoer is now in town. So 13.5, give that to me against Arizona State. I also like Donovan Smith, quarterback for Texas Tech. They're averaging 360 passing yards per game. For some reason, his passing yardage is all the way down to 287 on Prize Picks. So that's like close to 100 yards off. And Oklahoma State is outside the top 100 in pass defense. Baylor was hitting them for like 14 chunk plays last week, and Baylor's offense is not good this year. So, I like Donovan Smith over 287. I'm rolling now. We got two more. I like Wake Forest overs. I like Sam Hartman over 22.5 fantasy points, and A.T. Perry over 14.5 fantasy points. They're playing Army. Last year when they played Army, the two teams combined for 126 points, 126. 70 of those were Wake. Is that going to happen again? Maybe not, but Army's defense is still pretty trash. And Wake Forest, they have a good offense in case you've been living under a rock. They could score against Clemson. They could score against Army is the way I'm looking at that one.
Yeah. You a Sam Hartman guy? I like Sam Hartman.
Listen, these veteran quarterbacks, Sosa, like you were mentioning for DTR, like if the guy's 24 years old and he's been playing for 5 years, he might have a leg up against these 19-year-olds.
You get
He
me.
just might.
You get me, bro.
Sometimes it's simple.
It's actually simple. Like, if you're at a job long enough, you might be all right at it. I'm just saying. Sometimes it takes 6 years.
Sometimes it does. Sometimes it takes people longer than others. But when you figure it out, you figure it out, right? All right, we had somebody in the chat saying Arizona, Oregon. Anyone have a strong feel on Arizona, Oregon?
No.
Oregon doesn't play well in the desert, going back like 10 years, and Bo Nix doesn't play well on the road. I think Arizona's defense is terrible, so I'm not even sure that matters here. I've been waiting. I keep checking. The books are scared to release Bucky Irving's rushing props. So when they release that, if they ever do, it's still not up. I'm taking that. Arizona's got the worst rush defense I've seen at the Power 5 level in quite some time, and Bucky Irving is a stud. So I'm waiting for that one to be dropped. That's all I'm looking for there.
Yeah.
Anything else, fellas, before we get out?
I'm about to take a nap after this show.
Oh, word?
Yeah.
Interesting. I'm probably not doing shit today. NFL slate this week's ass, though. Holy shit. Those games tomorrow? Fucking terrible. Today's the actual entertainment. The college football games are great.
Yeah.
The NFL games? Oh, my Lord.
But we'll still be on Sunday morning quarterbacks tomorrow.
I'm canceling the show tomorrow. I'm not even doing an episode. Bro, these games stink. Early bye week. That's what I'm calling it. Early bye week.
Jeez. Get your money in today, then.
Does Michigan cover? Michigan plays Indiana.
13.5 first half spread, by the way.
What is it?
I believe the first half spread's like 2 touchdowns. It's 13.5 or something like that. From what one of my homies just actually texted me. He's like, it's my favorite bet of the week. And he just gave it out to his VIP. He likes Michigan first half minus 13.5. I can't fault him. I didn't know that Mike Hart was the running back coach at Michigan. Is it just me, or does this Corum he's like a carbon copy of Mike Hart? Like when I saw it's funny because when I saw him go off against Maryland, I'm like, this kid reminds me of Mike Hart. Only to find out that Mike Hart is the running back coach. I had no fucking clue. Dude plays exactly like him. He's another Heisman dark horse. When you get an opportunity to play a team like Illinois, this could be a 3-4 touchdown game for him. I would not be surprised if they just try to feed him the ball, feature him in the offense, because that's what it becomes, right? If your name is on that short list, your coach starts saying, okay, we got to feature you more. We got to make sure you're the guy. That's what they're going to do. I honestly think that it's a quorum game. 2, 3, 4 touchdowns, direct possibility for him today.
Yeah, I think they're going to build J.J. McCarthy's confidence too, man, like against Indiana, because he hasn't been putting up big numbers, and this is the opportunity to get your quarterback feeling good. So them hanging a number is I think, looking pretty likely there. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
All right, fellas. Thank you guys for tuning in every single week. Pay it for play, giving you your college football winners. Thanks everybody in the chat. Make sure you like the video, subscribe to the channel. You know what it is. Daily bread's coming at you every single day. Sunday morning quarterbacks coming at you for the terrible slates, possibly, unless Sosa, pulls the plug.
I'm canceling tomorrow. These NFL games are trash. That's why I came on today. These college football games, amazing. I'm glad I was able to break them down with y'all and get to some paper because today is going to be fucking fun.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Deuces.